Today, I guess I'm gonna screencast my blog to show you guys assessment software that I've been using or that I used a little bit last year. Then I haven't really used this year because I haven't paid for it yet. But this is the software called Crowdmark, which was developed by a mathematics professor at the University of Toronto, I believe, and he was in charge in assessing over 5,000 math exams each year, and coordinating those assessments and making sure everything was graded properly was really difficult for that big math competition. So he created the software in order to help streamline the assessment and make most tasks more efficient. So the idea here is not only this software can not only be used for summative assessments, but also for formative assessments. And often what I find is many of the software packages that we can use for summative or formative assessments, especially formative assessments, requires all the kids or all the students to have technology at their disposal, whether it be at their disposal. So whether that be an iPad or a computer or a phone or anything like that. And that creates a really difficult situation for schools that don't have access to that technology for all their students, much like mine. So often I find that technology is great when it's given to the teachers, and when students have low tech, you can save a lot of problems. We're talking about cheating, where it's collaboration with other students. Um, Using computers especially for summative assessments, can be fairly complicated, and setting up those assessments can be really difficult. So the idea here is to use traditional types of assessments, but automating the way that we do the corrections and the grading to make our jobs a lot faster and more efficient. So here's the software I've used. So basically, we've all done this before as teachers. If you've been teaching for the last little while, you'll have an assessment like the one I'm showing here. We'll fire it up. And this is just a regular assessment that I've built in Word. This was for my social studies 20 exam that I did last year. This is actually my unit exam with relations to the Cold War. And you see I have a title page, and it's just basically an exam like any other exam a teacher would prepare. I have a place where you can put keywords, short answer questions, more essay questions, true or false questions, um, longer development questions, and so on. And then you have the points. You have putting the right words in sentences with holes. There's just lots of different types and more of an essay question here. So this is just a regular type of exam. And to correct this, I mean, you have all this paper that you have to lug around, and it's really difficult. So I'll show you how we go about streaming that job. So you'll log into Crowdmark. So I have my software in Word, or my assessment all built up in Word. I'll go log in. To my software, and the software is all online. It's all done online, which is really practical. So you have all your different classes that are built here, and this is my social studies class, and I'll go into the course. So you can add as many assessments as you want. So when you create an assessment, basically the idea is the first step is creating your assessment in Word, and that's already done. Once your assessment is completed in Word, what you do is you export it as a PDF. So basically that assessment that I just showed you, I exported it as a PDF, and it's just a regular old PDF. The only thing is you got to make sure you have a title page and that you have a little bit of room up top, and I'll show you what that room is going to be used for in a few seconds or in a few minutes maybe even. So you got a PDF of that same Word document, not a problem. You can export that, print it to a PDF, not a problem. Once you create an assessment, what you can do is you'll create an assessment, you'll call it whatever unit exam, or it could be formative, summative, doesn't really matter as long as it uses a piece of paper, you'll be fine. So you'll create it, and then here you can assign an assessment, and in this category, you can actually send the assessment electronically. The kids can do the assessment and upload the assessment straight to the software, and there are different tools there. I won't be looking at that for tonight. I'll be showing you the administered assessments. Once you choose your administered assessments, basically all you do is you take your PDF and you treat it. And basically the software will take your PDF and it's going to process it. And so the idea is when you process the PDF, it adds a QR code to each different page of the assessment. The next step is to define the questions. So basically this step is really easy. You basically go through your exam and you say, okay, which part of the exam is which question and how many points each question is worth, so that the software later on will be able to tabulate all your questions. So I won't go through the whole process here, but it's really simple. If you need to add a question, you add a question. You can modify how many points are attributed to each question. And you can add, you can remove questions, it's not a problem. So basically you know which area of the exam has each question. And this is key, and you'll see why this is key soon. Once you're done setting up your exam, and I won't set up this one, I have already one set up, we'll continue. And the next step is basically to enter all your students' email addresses, and basically what's going to happen is once you've assessed it, you can send the email, the assessment straight to the students for their retroaction. And we know feedback is key, and feedback is very important, and this allows us to send feedback quickly and efficiently to students and parents, and if they want to send them. And we can send different types of feedback, which you'll see. And once that's done, you're gonna go to this section, and I won't do it now, but you'll be able to generate an exam, and you'll generate the exams for each student. So once you click generate, it's going to produce a second PDF, and this PDF is going to look something like this. And basically it's going to be the same PDF as you had before, but it will have a unique QR code for each page. And what you'll notice is, depending on the amount of students, it'll make a PDF with as many pages it needs for the amount of students. So if I have a 10-page exam and I have 5 students, it'll print 50 unique pages. So basically one copy of the exam for each student. You don't have to worry about which exam to give to each student. Every pack of paper is set together, so that's not a problem. And this QR code is key, and you'll see why it's important. So basically, you'll print off this exam, you'll give it to your students will do the assessment, and they'll give you back the exam. Once the exam is handed in, you'll scan the exam. And I gotta find my scan. I don't know if I have actually I don't think I have my scan on here, but you'll scan the exam once you're complete. So you'll come back and you'll go, okay, this is the unit, this is the exam I had. And you'll go into here and you'll be able to upload your booklets. So once your exams are scanned, you'll take that PDF and upload it to Crowdmark. And basically what's going to show you is going to show you each question that you have, and it's going to give you, it's going to scan each exam, and each QR code is going to assign each QR code to each exam. Then you'll be able to match booklets, and once you match booklets, you'll have the student name here, and basically you just type in which student address up here, and so you'll be able to associate each exam to each student, which is perfect. There's even an automated system for multiple students to one booklet. And there's even the ways to automate multiple answers, and we all know that those can be iffy at times. But yeah, so basically you'll be able to associate each exam to each student. But a key part here is that when you're going to be assessing, unless you know the writing of each student, you won't be able to identify which exam or which question is which student, which provides a fairer assessment and a more even assessment across the board. So the exam is only associated to a student at the very end. You'll only know which student has which result at the very end. And basically you'll go to the next unmatched, and so on until they're all matched. So this one's already been done, but it gives you an idea. So I'll go back to my assessment, and once you've matched all your booklets, it's time for assessment. So basically all you have to do is go on to your first question, and basically it'll show you the first question. The first question here is which country wanted to be neutral here, and it's on just 1 point for this question. And basically, if you get a one, if it's correct answer, you press one. And basically, with the arrow keys on your keyboard, you can go to the next exam and the next exam and so on. And it'll only show you the first question. So as a teacher, your mindset is only to correct that question. So you're always correcting the same question over and over and over. Now, if you've ever done a lot of correcting, you'll remember you're always fiddling with paper and moving paper and assessing one and assessing another. And so here you're only doing one question at a time, which is really, really great. We'll go to a question that's little easier. So let's say you got this question here, question number 12. You're in booklet 3. You'll be question number 12 in this booklet, and so on. So basically, you're just doing one question at a time quickly. And it's on 2. All you have to do is put in the number, press OK. It'll go to the next one, put in the grade, to the next one. What is really fun here is that sometimes you have a question where you have a standard answer or an answer that you would like. So when you're giving feedback, often you're writing the same answer 50, 100 times, and it gets really long, especially in math or in different sciences. So here what you can do is you can add comments that are standard. So let's say you have the right answer. What you can do is you can actually just drag the answer here, and basically you're done. You can go to the next one. And if this one's wrong, you can drag the answer and so on. So you're saving a lot of time and you're giving that feedback right away. And of course, you can put in a custom comment and you can just type it off. Some of us are really good at typing. Now, if you have a tablet, well, then you can write it down. Now, I'm just using my mouth, but if you have like a Surface, you can just write it down with your stylus, go to the next question, and so on. You can highlight, you can add check marks like this. You can add question marks. It makes it really nice and quick. And you can put different colors. You can add comments and so on, which is a really, really useful tool. Once you're done your assessments, you can come back and basically you can start, stop. You don't have to carry your exams everywhere. It's all online, and if you have good bandwidth, it is very fast. And so you'll see here, I've assessed all of my questions. It says grading complete, gives you a little progress bar. Once you're done, you can go to the result page, and you can even see the dispersion of the results. You can check the distribution of scores for different questions. So it gives you a lot of data that you can share with your students. Once you're done, you can export the grades as a comma separated value file so that you can use to put into your marking software. And you could even send the grades as an email to the students. And I've already done it with this one, so it's not going to allow me to send it to the students, I don't think. So, but you can check every student, you can check their grades, and then you can send it to them, and you can check their scores by after. And so yeah, this is a Crowdmark. It works really well. I think it's great software. You can really oversee your questions, your students. Well, now what's really cool too is that you can, let's say you're working as a team, you can give different teachers or different even students different questions to evaluate. So you can give a group of teachers, you guys are correcting question number 1, you guys are correcting question number 2. You can supervise and you can really distribute the assessment, especially if you have a competition of some sort with hundreds of assessments. I'm thinking of ministry exams and stuff like that. But what's really great is the students don't have to have the technology. They just have to have their pen, their paper, or their pencil, and it saves a lot of time. You can give the feedback. You can print them out if you really wanted to give it back to the students. And so it takes the technology out of their hands. It goes low tech, but it's high tech on the other end. So that's the software I wanted to show you. It worked really well. I thought it was great. So why did I choose this tool? Save me time. I was manipulating these exams over and over for hours on end, and here, an exam that would take me 2 or 3 hours to correct could take me 30 to 40 minutes, not even an hour. I had challenges setting up this tool. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but it's really not too bad. It's fairly fairly self-evident, but with a little bit of help, the support's really good through this company, so it's really not a problem. The students really liked it because they got their feedback a lot faster, a lot quicker. I am known to be a very slow teacher at assessing and actually grading, so they really appreciated it. And they appreciated getting into their emails, and then when they wanted to study for their next exam or for their final exam at the end of the year, they could look at all their evaluations, see their comments, see where their weaknesses, their strengths were. They really, really enjoyed it. So I used it mostly for summative assessments, but they could very well be used for formative assessments that are pen and paper based, especially math and stuff like that. You give one quick question or two, you can really quickly assess them, give feedback, send it back. So it could be really good for those students. The cons, you're stuck on pen and paper. It's maybe not as quick as a Kahoot or something like that. Um, but I think it can still give a lot of individualized feedback to each student, which is really, really interesting. So I would say it's good for both. If you have any questions or you wanted to see it more, it does have a cost, and I'm not too sure exactly what the cost is. There are different plans, but it is created by a Canadian company, and they're really, really nice people, and I really recommend it, especially for those serious assessments. And yeah, it works really well, and I'm looking forward to showing it to more of my colleagues in the future and move to the next level in formative and summative assessments. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just comment on the blog and I would be happy to answer you. Thank you.